Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday, guys. It is a Saturday morning, guys, and I need a haircut. Of course I do. My hair's going all over the place. It's touching the ceiling. Goodness me, I cannot fathom how I can still keep my head up. It's so bloody heavy, my hair. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys could possibly do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. You're absolute legends, guys. Thank you. Now, look, I'm going to get into the Mbeumo story. In regards to Mbeumo, look, you know, I've been saying it for many, many weeks now. The Mbeumo deal is basically done now. It's done, basically. Just the finer details need to be ironed out and stuff like that. And when the Mbeumo deal was being done, initially, when the Mbeumo deal was being done, Tottenham Hotspur were interested in Mbeumo from the beginning. The only thing is now is that the fact that Thomas Frank has left Brentford and gone to Tottenham, it has ignited, you know, the rumors about Mbeumo going to Tottenham, which is like, you know, it's very lazy journalism, in my opinion. It's lazy journalism. It's just putting two and two together, you know, and that's what they're doing. Like, it's so simplistic, because I always knew that once a player sacrifices himself in regards to, well, sacrificing is a big word, but when a player puts himself forward in regards to going to Manchester United, openly stating that he wants to go to Manchester United, he wants to sign for Manchester United, you can't really go back on that, really. You can't really go back on that. And then added to the fact that it's agreed personal terms, etc., the deal is very, very advanced. So for Mbeumo to turn around and say, look, I'm going to go to Tottenham now because Thomas Frank is going to Tottenham is a little bit far-fetched. I'm not saying it's not within the realms of possibility. Of course it is. That's football. Football can be such a funny thing sometimes. But what I would say is that Mbeumo deal is almost done, and we have to be a little bit more relaxed and calm in regards to it. I understand that the history of Man United over the last few years, the last decade, the last 20 years, hasn't been, you know, fulfilling with positivity and hope. And I understand the PTSD. I do understand that, to be honest with you. But one thing is certain, I believe that that Mbeumo will be a Manchester United player next season. I'm telling you guys now, he will be a Manchester United player next season. He will not be going to Spurs as much as the rumours were circulating over the last couple of days. You know what? The media would jump on this. The media would love to jump on something like this. Mbeumo going to Tottenham Hotspur, Thomas Frank at Tottenham Hotspur. It's just such a typical story. It's just a really, really obvious story for me, in my opinion. And I don't fall for it 1 minute. Absolutely not. Big up everyone who's joined me today. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well this Saturday morning. Hope you're good. Big up Cornish Made. Apparently, Portsmouth want 58 million, including add-ons. Big up Cornish. I'm going to get into that. Big up yourself. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Sanjay, good to see you. Morning, Cornish. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Denbo, good morning. Give me some news, mate. Good news. That's it, mate. Mbeumo's going to be a Man United player. I'm telling you guys, Mbeumo's going to be a Man United player, and you will see it. Absolutely. Good morning, British Bulldog. How you doing? And good morning, Rajat. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, every single one. Now, look, you know, in regards to Gyokeres, I said yesterday, instead of 50 million plus 10 million on add-ons, Sporting Lisbon want 58 million plus 5 million on add-ons. Guys, for a player of Gyokeres' talent, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think Man United need to pay the money. 58 million plus 5 million on add-ons. United should just pay the money. And I do believe Man United are coming in with another bid. And that would obviously, hopefully, take it over the line. And he will hopefully be a Manchester United player next year, of course, next season. It is a little bit more difficult in regards to Gyokeres' situation. Gyokeres' situation isn't straightforward as the Mbeumo situation. I'm more certain Mbeumo will be a Manchester United player next season than I am with Gyokeres. Because obviously, once the window opens again, there could be other clubs coming in for Gyokeres. I'm hearing PSG might come in for Gyokeres, of course. But in regards to Gyokeres, I say he's more likely to sign for Manchester United. I believe he will. I believe we will have Gyokeres, Mbeumo and Cunha next season, which in my opinion will be one of the most potent strike forces in Europe. It'll be one of the most underrated strike forces in Europe. And this is the whole thing. You know, the media, especially the mainstream media, they don't really like Man United. They don't like us. So they're going to try and spin a negative on everything. Everything we do, they're going to spin this negative. Oh, you know, he's going to Tottenham. Oh, he's going to go to this club. He's going to go to that club. You know, they don't want us to rise again. This media don't want us to rise again. They want us to stay where we are. They don't. They certainly don't want to resurge at Manchester United. And this is the spin that we have to be careful of. The spin is a warning, because at the end of the day, every single time Manchester United are in for a player, or we're about to sign a player, there's always going to be a negative spin. The only thing that surprised me over this last few weeks is that this spin didn't come earlier, because we were going after Gyokeres and Mbeumo, and I'm sitting there to myself and I'm thinking, this is too smooth. Why is nothing happening? Why is no one saying anything? Why are the media not talking about it? What's going on here? You know what I mean? And it just seemed like, inevitable that they were going to come eventually and start saying, oh, you know what? Thomas Frank's going to Tottenham. Thomas Frank's going to Tottenham. So, you know what? So is Mbeumo. And Mbeumo's going to Tottenham as well. It's just such a typical story, and it just feeds into the masses and stuff like that. Morning, Dan. What's going on, bro? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, Baz. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Tybo, you legend. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Marky Mark. Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you very much. Much love to you, brother. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for joining me. The window is open Monday, 16th. Come on. It's going to be news. Big up, Baz. Absolutely. Ephraim, good morning. So is everything okay? We have to sign in Mbeumo ASAP. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing? Hope you're well. I believe he will. I honestly believe, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. I honestly believe that Mbeumo will be a Man United player next season. I'm sacrificing my head. I'm giving my head to you. Now, I believe that he will be a Manchester United player next season. I'm pretty certain about that. I think we will be playing with Mbeumo next season. If we don't get Mbeumo, and football, it can be a little bit treacherous in regards to things can pop up. For example, the Thomas Frank situation a few weeks ago, we knew nothing about Thomas Frank leaving Brentford. It was a possibility he might leave Brentford, but no one knew that Postecoglou would get sacked, especially after that, open bus parade, whatever they had. And then, with Postecoglou, and then Thomas Frank would go to Tottenham. No one would have envisioned that. That can happen in football. Football slaps you on the face when you least expect it, of course. But the law of averages is he said he wants to go to Manchester United. Right? He said he wants to go to Manchester United. He's agreed personal terms to Man United. The same thing applies. Man United just need to agree a deal with Brentford. And that's what I would say. In regards to Gyokeres, Man United have to pay the 58 million plus 5 million on add-ons. Just bloody pay the money, United. Just pay the money. Get the player through the door. Pay the money. Now, why are we taking our time? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities why Man United could be taking their time. They could be obviously due to the fact that the Thomas Frank situation. I don't think that is as much. I do believe Man United, are trying to organise a deal with Brentford in regards to an instalment plan in regards to Mbeumo. We're trying to not pay the full amount fully. We're going to do an instalment plan as we've done with Cunha. So we're trying to get that sorted out. So that is going to take time, of course, plus the agent fees and stuff like that. Obviously, the window being shut has made it a little bit more difficult. So obviously, we have to wait till Monday. It's Saturday, day after tomorrow. The window opens again. You see, the window is open again. No panic. The day after tomorrow, it's open. David says, negative news makes United fans depressed and they click on it to read more. The problem is that what people have to understand, people have to understand is that they don't like us. The media don't like us. They don't want us to be successful. They don't want to resurge at Man United. They know we dominated football for 25 years. They know about that, and it hurt them a lot. Trust me. And we did cause them a lot of tears over the years. Lots of purchases of tissues and Andrex and whatever. That's what's happened with them. They hate us a lot. And what we used to do as a Man United fan base, we were always hated. But what we used to do is we used to embrace it. I embrace the hate. Let them hate. Let them lie. Because I know that that's what they're going to do. They're going to lie. They're going to spin a thing to make us feel down and depressed and negative. You know what I mean? That is what they want to do. But we're not. I know that Mbeumo will be a Man United player next year. And I've always said that. I've maintained that. I'm not flip-flopped on that. Gyokeres is a big chance he might become a Man United player as well. And then when you think about Cunha and Mbeumo and Gyokeres, then you're starting to look at a front line that is incredibly dangerous. You know what I mean? And I think that is what they're most afraid of, in my opinion. Absolutely. Mbeumo, big up Rajat. Mbeumo, good. He is a good player. Very good player. Big up Rajat. Mbeumo's good. He's coming to Man United. This is sound good if you're right, mate. Hopefully, Dembo, look, nothing in football is absolute, right? Nothing in football is absolute. But just remember this, right? As soon as Thomas Frank left Brentford, it was like night and day. Like, it's just like breathing in the morning or, whatever. No, taxes. I knew that they're going to spin a story in regards to Mbeumo going to Tottenham. It's so obvious. It's such lazy journalism, in my opinion. It's so lazy. I knew they'll do this. You know what I mean? Thomas Frank going to Tottenham, so Mbeumo's going to go to Tottenham as well. Mbeumo wants to play for Man United. No, there is such a thing of Man United heritage, right? I know that a lot of people are downplaying our heritage. They're downplaying who we are, our pool, our history. A lot of players do know about our history. A lot of players do know about Tottenham and Man United, right? In regards to that. Tottenham, serial bottlers. I know they beat us in the Europa League final. Absolutely disaster. But that was a one-off. At the end of the day, you get teams like Wigan winning the FA Cup. So at the end of the day, things can happen in football, right? Beating Man City in the final. So things can happen in football. But what I would say is that, we have to be aware of this media and be warned of this media that they're always going to try and spin a negative. If it was Ornstein coming out saying these things, if it was Fabrizio coming out and saying these things, you might add some weight into it. But it was Sky Sports. And let me tell you a story about Sky Sports. I've been on Sky Sports. I know about Sky Sports. Sky Sports are not really big fans of Manchester United. They're not. Traditionally, it's like ESPN FC. They're not fans of Manchester United. They don't love Man United like we love Man United. They spin it. And a lot of the people who go on Sky Sports are ex-players of teams that we've beaten so serially over the years. You know what I mean? In the last 25 years, we've been beating them. So don't fall for their negative spin. If it was Ornstein, if it was Fabrizio, if it was Ben Jacobs, then we can start saying, well, you know what? This could be some truth in this. I'm not saying that it might not be. I'm not saying that, there might not be some news coming out in the next few days from Fabrizio Romano or Ornstein and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that once a player sacrifices himself in regards to saying that I want to play for Manchester United, he also agrees personal terms with Man United. I mean, I cannot fathom how he would turn around and go decide for Tottenham. I don't, even if Thomas Frank goes to Tottenham. Look, there's a lot of people who do like Ruben Amorim. There's a lot of players who do like Manchester United. They support Manchester United, and then Mbeumo might be one of those guys. He might want to be the guy who puts Manchester United back on the map. He might be the one who wants who turn Man United's fortunes around. Some players want to do that. You know what I mean? I would, of course, I would. I'm a Man United fan. Emvrem, Sal, why it takes so long to negotiate 2 clubs? Because the window is closed at the moment, so it does make it a little bit more difficult. Added to the fact that Thomas Frank has left his job. But let me tell you something like that. In regards to how long this deal is taking, it is taking the normal amount of time in regards to a normal deal, right? It is not, given the window, the week, we can't go and do anything official because the window is closed. So Man United have to wait until Monday. So I'm hoping by Monday and onwards, we will be getting some more positive news about it. The window is closed. Let's not forget, the 1st to the 10th were a bonus window. That was a bonus window. We got Cunha. That's good. Great, right? So the 16th onwards, let's hope that we get some deals done. I'm saying like this, right? Because at the end of the day, no player there's going to be players coming in at the 1st of July because of the financial fiscal year, of course. There's going to be players coming in on the 1st of July. So let's not worry too much. I did say by the end of June, if we haven't got anything solid, then I'm going to be a little bit concerned, right? I would be. But I still believe that we will get the players that we need in by the start of the preseason on the 19th of July. They have to. Ineos are under enormous pressure this summer. They've got the watchful eye of the fans on them, because they brought in this manager midway through the season when he didn't want to come in midway through the season. He has a distinctive style of play and they haven't backed him. It just doesn't seem very intelligent to do something like that, not to back the manager. I know we had a poor season last season, but there's obviously context towards that and why that happened, etc. But what we have to do is let's be a little bit more patient and wait until the end of June. We'll get Mbeumo in and we'll be happy. And then we'll be going like, right, next. And then we'll get Gyokeres in next. Things can happen quickly as well. I know sometimes it takes slowly, but things can happen quickly. Notoriously, Man United are slow. And I'm fed up with that. I agree. I'm tired of Man United being so slow. I wish we could just be quicker, and stop using the full duration of the transfer window. I wish that we got all our deals done with weeks to go so we could go, yes, we got it done, guys. You know what I mean? Liverpool do it very well. Chelsea do it very well. Manchester City do it very well. Liverpool are a very good team to look at in regards to transfers because they get things done quickly and quietly. Number one, quietly. They get it done. McAllister, Frimpong, Gyokeres and Florian Wirtz. Yeah, Florian Wirtz was a lot of talk around, but they got it done quickly. £150 million deal. They got it done quickly. And that's what Man United need to practice. Look, it's not the end of the world that you're slow. It's not the end of the world, but Manchester United are in a unique position where we have to do a lot of work this summer in regards to outgoings and ingoings. It's not just outgoings. It's not just ingoings. It's outgoings as well. We got a lot of players that need to leave the football club, and we got players there that not only about money, in regards to Rashford and in regards to Sancho, these players can be a disruption to the team. They could be a disruption to the young players coming through. We don't want any disruptions. We don't want any toxicity coming in at Man United anymore. I'm tired of this toxicity. You know what I mean? So we need these players to be out the door. It's going to be very difficult to get rid of the likes of Sancho, to get rid of the likes of Rashford. In regards to Anthony and Garnacho, you will see bids flying in from next week. You will see the bids flying in, and obviously we'll make some money then as well. So that's why I don't really worry about too much about that. But I would say that Rashford and Sancho are going to be a little bit of an issue this summer. And I think that most likely my prediction is that we'll probably end up loaning Rashford and loaning Sancho with the fee paid with a small fee paid and with them paying a percentage of the wages. It's not ideal, of course it's not. But you know, Rashford has set his sights on only Barcelona. I only want Barcelona. You know what I mean? I only want a Ferrari. At the end, as I said yesterday, but I can't get one, can I? If Barcelona don't want to buy you, what can you do, mate? You know what I mean? And that's what I would say about that. It does make me laugh. But if I was Rashford, if I wanted to play in the World Cup in 2026, I wanted to play in the World Cup. My main focus would be playing football. So going to a club that's going to play me. You're not going to get into a Barcelona team with Pedri, you know, with Rafinha, with Lamine Yamal, with Lewandowski. You know, you're not going to get into that Barcelona team. So I don't know why he wants to so much sign for Barcelona. He'd be straight on the bench, let me tell you, unless he's playing in the Copa del Rey or something like that. He needs to open his mind a little bit and look at teams around. You know, maybe move to another Premier League team. You know, maybe move to Germany, something like that. Maybe go to Italy and try and build up your name and score some goals. Look at even Tony. Even Tony's been playing in Saudi Arabia. He's got back in the England team. He's got back in the England squad. So it's not impossible for Rashford to get back in the England squad. But what he needs to do, he needs to play football. That's what he needs to do. In regards to Sancho, it's going to be extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be like trying to flog off a pair of old socks. That is what it's going to be like trying to sell Sancho. You know what I mean? You're going to have to flog these old socks and you're going to have to say, these socks are very nice socks. I want £20 for them. You know what I mean? And people are going to have £20 for a pair of old socks. Yeah. But look, listen. They work very well. You know what I mean? They've lasted very long. There's no holes in them. Look at them. There's no holes in them. That is a bit like trying to sell Sancho. That is what it's going to be like trying to sell Sancho, in my opinion. Difficult. Difficult. But you know what? Hopefully the summer comes and we get some positive news. We got these people, Wilcox, Rival, and you know, Barada and stuff like that. They're skilled at doing their job. They're supposed to be anyway. So I want to see more action and less PR, in my opinion. Because what it does, and what we don't want, is a negative spin keep happening at Man United. Because there's always going to be a negative spin with Man United, no matter who we're in for. You know what? We're going to sign Mbeumo. We've already had people saying he's not good enough. We signed Cunha. We've already heard people say he's not good enough. You know, we signed Gyokeres. He's just physicality, and that's it. We've already heard all these stories, isn't it? Whereas if that was any other team in the Premier League, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, they won't be saying anything about that. You know, have they said anything about Liam Delap getting 200,000 a week? They haven't said anything about that, has he? The guy who got relegated with Ipswich, they haven't said anything about that, have we? Have they? Absolutely not. So this bidding war, Tottenham were always in for Mbeumo, even before Thomas Frank left Brentford. At the beginning of the negotiations, Tottenham were always in for Mbeumo. So look, don't worry about it, in my opinion. Absolutely not. In regards to Onana might be staying for another year. Hearing that Onana, you know, could be at Man United for another year. As Ruben Amorim said, he said that all the deals at Man United won't be done in this window. We will get a lot of deals done, but we won't get everything done. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because I believe Man United needed a goalkeeper. And I pray that they change their mind because we need a new goalkeeper. We do need a new goalkeeper. Once we get Gyokeres and we get Mbeumo in, goalkeeper. That's what I would say. And then once you've got the goalkeeper settled, I will have a huge amount of anxiety just leave my body. Like this, like a spirit. Just leave my body, it'd be gone. That's what happened because I'm too nervous when I see Onana. I'm too nervous. It makes me indecisive. His indecisiveness, it makes me nervous. It gives me anxiety. And I think it gives everyone else anxiety and the team as well. Big up, Randy. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Morning. Hope you're good. Rajat. Good morning. How's it going? Very well. Thank you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, fam. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Absolutely. Spurs have too much chest because they win the Europa League. They think they can attract more than us. Look, at the end of the day, Spurs won the Europa League. Fair play to them, right? Man United dominated that game. The only thing about Man United, we didn't have a bloody striker who could put the ball in the bloody net. That's the problem, right? We're toothless up front, right? But Tottenham played a game on us. They got the goal. Fair play to them. They sat back and they defended. And we couldn't break it down because everyone knows what our problem is, isn't it? Everyone knows that we have a problem with the low block. When the team plays a low block, we have a problem with it. We cannot open them up. Now with Mbeumo, with Cunha, with Gyokeres, hopefully, right, we will be a much more potent force next season. You know, they won the Europa League. Fair play to them. It's embarrassing for me. The worst final defeat I've ever seen. One of the worst defeats I've ever seen as a Manchester United fan. Probably the worst, given it was in front of the world against a weak Tottenham team. And it was embarrassing, especially against Postecoglou. Mate, I usually win on my second season, mate. I usually win a trophy on my second season, mate. Goodness me. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing, but yeah, you know, they think they're more, as you said there, they got chest. As you said there, they're going to be more confident. They're going to be confident because they beat Man United. They got this little bit of newfound energy. You know, that's just, hopefully that final was a wake-up call. Sometimes you learn more from defeat than you do from success. Maybe that final was a wake-up call for the ownership. Maybe they said, bloody hell, we're not really good, are we? You know, we need to get some players in. And maybe that's a wake-up call. Maybe Tottenham did us a blessing in disguise. I know I'm clutching at straws here, but maybe that's what's happened. Let's wait and see. 1998, what's going on? We are a mid-table club for the past 13 years now. It's embarrassing. We weren't for the past 13 years. We haven't been a mid-table club. We've been a top half club. We've been about 5th, 6th, 7th. We've been about their Europa League club. Last season, we were lower table club. No, not even a mid-table club. We were a lower table club. That's the first time that's happened since I've been a Man United fan. The lowest Man United have finished over the last 13 years is 8th, right? Apart from last season, which was 15th. It's unacceptable. I know that. It's unacceptable. I don't agree with finishing this low as Man United fan. I remember when we lost the league in 1995, right? I remember that very well. And I remember we came second, okay, in the last game of the season. I was devastated. I couldn't get over it all summer. We finished second, you know, and it was awful. And nowadays, unfortunately, you get rewarded for finishing second. You get rewarded for finishing third and fourth. Back in 1995, you didn't get rewarded. You got probably a UEFA Cup spot, and that was about it. But what I would say is that, yeah, look, it's unacceptable. This is why Man United need a rebuild. This is why Man United need to get the work done and get these players in and start working on a new team for next season. Because at the end of the day, whether your name is Bruno or your name is Harry Maguire, you know what? They all failed last season. Every single one of them, to a man, failed last season. I don't care who you are. I don't care stat padding. I don't care. Bruno was the captain of the ship. And Maguire played, and all these other players played as well. Every single player, to a man, was responsible for that last season. And I don't care how good you are. Everyone is responsible as a unit. And we need to change that mentality at this football club. We cannot have this underachievement thing at Man United. We are the biggest club in the world, not challenging for a league title. You know, we're the biggest club in England. We're not the best, but we're the biggest. And we should be challenging for titles. And next season, I want us to really push up that league, get in the top 4. I mean, hopefully we build on from that and move up and start challenging for the league, for goodness sake. It's been awful this last few years. Man City taking a treble, Liverpool equaling our league title tally. It's embarrassing. It's awful. I didn't think it would ever happen, but it has happened. And what do we do with it? We can either cry about it and start moaning about it, or we can use it to our advantage. And I hope that these Man United players use this adversity to our advantage. Absolutely. Afro Suit, good morning, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. We need warriors like Cunha to bring us back to the glorious days. Any news about exits yet? Nothing at the moment, but I would say that we're going to get a number of bids next week. Number of bids will come in from Garnacho and obviously from Anthony in particular. You will get loan bids. We will get loan probably for Rashford. I don't know about Sancho. Sancho, look, his reputation, goes before him. At the end of the day, everyone knows about Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho, you know, is a problem, and everyone knows it. Even Dortmund know it deep down. They've had problems with him. You know, the problem is that getting rid of Sancho. What can we do? Saudi are not particularly interested in him. No other team is particularly interested in him. He's doing it to himself. And, you know, he's ruining his own career at the end of the day. I personally believe that, you know, Man United need to fight tooth and nail to get rid of Sancho. It's not, as I said, it's not only about money. It's about influence within the dressing room and, you know, the culture that we want to get rid of at this football club. We want to get rid of this type of culture, this Sancho culture. Do you know what I mean? We want to get rid of that. And this is not only about Jadon Sancho. This is about a culture that has been going on for 13 years now, that we've had players who come in, could sit on their backside, get paid. Look at Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw needs to leave the football club. That guy injured when it suits him. You know what? I guarantee you, by, let's say, May, March, April, if we don't sell Luke Shaw, watch what's going to happen. The World Cup is coming. Luke Shaw will be fit. This is the culture I'm talking about. I can't stand this culture at Man United. They're not playing for the badge. They're not playing for the badge. And this is why every single player in that squad needs to be criticised and needs to be, you know, if you don't want to play for Man United, if you're not fit, hardly ever fit, if you're not playing in 90% of the games, get out of here. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Hopefully next week we'll get some news about Anthony and we get some news about Garnacho. Look, Luke Shaw needs to leave before Garnacho. You know what I mean? These players, I know that Garnacho mouthed off and stuff like that, which was wrong. But what I would say is that indirectly, what Luke Shaw is doing is even worse. It's much worse, right? He's manipulative. He's behind the curtain. He's behind the curtain. Do you know what I mean? He'll push your nan down the stairs. That's the sort of thing Luke Shaw is. He's a manipulative character. Do you know what I mean? And what I would say, and this manipulation within the Man United team, you know, it needs to be eradicated, because this feeling where, well, you know what, I want to go partying tonight in Ibiza, mate. You know what, I'm gonna ring in sick. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to Ibiza, mate. You know what I mean? You know, and all that song that they sang about your mum's on benefits and stuff like that. I did not like that as a man like myself who came from a poor background and stuff like that. It wasn't very nice to hear that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you know, just because you were given success doesn't mean that you're better than everyone else. And when he's always on the bet, when he's always injured and stuff like that, it just even adds to the weight that he's such a dud at the end of the day. And yeah, hopefully we get rid of these players, of course. Raja. World Cup, yeah. There is a couple of good games, I'll be honest with you. I really want to watch them, but the World Cup is today. I think there's some games on already, isn't there? There were some games that finished already in regards to the World Cup Championship. I was looking at it today. No, tomorrow it's on. Tomorrow, sorry. We've got Al Ali against Inter Milan. We've got FC Bayern against Auckland, and we've got PSG against Atletico Madrid. There was rumors about they're failing to sell tickets. They can't sell tickets. They're selling the tickets for about $5. For the games. Can you believe it? I bet you guys, if you had Manchester United in this tournament, right, the tickets would be sold. Gone. Man City are not the biggest club in the world. Chelsea are not the biggest club in the world. The two biggest clubs are Liverpool and Manchester United. The two biggest clubs in England should be pioneers of that World Cup Championship. They should be playing in that. I don't even care how good we are. I think we should. And I guarantee you, if those two teams were playing in this tournament, the tickets would be sold. The tickets would be sold. No one cares about Man City and Chelsea. They really don't, honestly. And now they have to reduce the ticket prices. We told you. We told you, absolutely. Irfan. ESPN openly hating on United. Yeah, it's an unprofessional but very irresponsible for my media company to pursue narrative against any clubs in sports. Seeing Dan defend United is surprising. Don Hutchinson did defend Manchester United, of course. Fair play to Don Hutchinson. Very, very good player in his time. Played for West Ham, played for Liverpool as well. Let's not forget Don Hutchinson played for Liverpool. And he was backing up United. Talking about Man United, if we sign Cunha, Mbeumo and Gyokeres, that is a very, very dangerous. And Man United will be challenging for top 4 next season. And you know what happened? They laughed at him. They laughed at him. Look, let me tell you something about ESPN. You got some dud Venezuelan ex-footballer who didn't come anywhere near to European football, is absolutely useless. You got a guy called Craig Burley, whose claim to fame was losing to Man United 4-0 in an FA Cup final in 1994 with no teeth. That is his claim to fame. His claim to fame is basically having no teeth. That is his claim to fame. And you know what? You got another guy called Mr. Nichols. Was it Nichols, who played for Liverpool in the late 80s? Overrated defender, who's also very, very hateful towards Manchester United. Plus, you've got this other ex-Arsenal player who's on there as well, you know. So what I would say is that their hatred is so obvious. I used to watch ESPN FC. I used to watch it quite a lot. I used to enjoy it, you know. But you know, when I started hearing the narratives around Man United, some of it's true. I know we're not good. No one needs to tell us, but the hatred towards Man United. Even when we were winning, they were starting to bring in negatives around Man United. It's unprofessional, of course it is. But you know what? They get away with it week in, week out, and they got away with it for 2 decades. So I don't think they really care anymore. They don't like Man United. But what do Man United do? Do we cry about it? Do we moan about it? What do we do? What we need to do is be successful on the football pitch. Be successful on the football pitch so these idiots, they have no leg to stand on. That's what we need to do. We need to shut them up by playing football. That's what we need to do, and winning football matches. Let them talk. That's what I used to do, because we used to get hate in the past. There was always this sly remarks in regards to Man United, even though we were successful. There were always these sly remarks. Oh, you know, Alex Ferguson gets, Alex Fergie time, cheating, You know, there are always these sly remarks around Manchester United. We always had to put up with the fact that everyone wanted us to lose. Even when we needed a team to win for us, they would lose to spite us. That's what they used to do. So we used to say that, okay, it's us against the world. And that's the mentality we need at the moment. Us against the world. Adversity to the stars. Let them talk and we'll concentrate on our own game and hopefully we will be successful again. And then what they're going to say. I actually feel sorry for them because if Man United come back and are successful, where they're going to go with this? They're going to have to, look, listen, they're going to have to ring in sick because they're going to have to say some nice things about Man United on their channels. Would you believe it? Shah, what's going on? Monica, I can't stand the media spin about Mbeumo to Spurs because Thomas Frank is now the Spurs manager. I believe he would still go. He's going to United. He's already agreed to go to Man United. This is the fact. These are the facts here. He's already agreed to go to Man United. This spin is so obvious and lazy journalism. It's lazy journalism. Ornstein hasn't mentioned it, and also Fabrizio Romano haven't mentioned it. So why is all this on from Sky Sports, who openly don't like us, talking absolute nonsense? Let's put 2 and 2 together. Thomas Frank is going to Tottenham, so that must mean Mbeumo is going to Tottenham as well. You know, it's madness. David's also, Mbeumo never had a release clause. These are deciding a good enough price that would suit them. Yeah. Man United are also trying to get a deal where they can give incentives and installments and things like that. So that can take time as well. Spurs were already interested in Mbeumo before they took over, but exactly, Shah. This is what I said at the top of the show. He's already interested. Don't think Cunha will be like Neymar, but he is a good, but really, no, he's a different level, but that higher level, playing that high, but no, really playing. I think Neymar's extremely overrated, Rajat. I think Neymar has always been extremely overrated. He's got a few skills here and there, extremely overrated. I think Cunha will be better. As an all-round player, I think Cunha he'd be more dedicated, he'd be proper. Neymar's just like a wish Ronaldinho. Coco, panic sets in when big six teams are pretty much but 100% correct. Things can happen quickly. A proper club should have a first, second, third, fifth choice lined up every window. This is the problem. This is the thing, Coco. You're absolutely spot on. If we don't get Mbeumo, if we don't get Gyokeres, I want to see contingency plans going on. As you said, second choice, third choice, fifth choice, that sort of thing going on. Because if we don't get Mbeumo, if we don't get Gyokeres, and anything could happen in football, but I firmly believe we will. Right? If we don't get these, I want to see what's the next. And to their credit, last summer we were after Jared Branthwaite. You remember, we were after Jared Branthwaite all summer. We were talking about Jared Branthwaite. Then we realized Jared Branthwaite is overpriced. They're overpricing him at the market. 60 million they wanted for a young player who's unproven in Jared Branthwaite. So we went after Lenny Yoro. And that's what I want to see. So we got Lenny Yoro. And to be honest with you, the best choice we made. So in fairness to them, they've done things like that. So hopefully, if things don't work out for us, we've got contingency plans. I don't want to see panic buys. I don't want to see panic loans and things like that we bring in. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like going to Saudi, getting Mitrovic. I like Mitrovic, but going to Saudi, getting Mitrovic on loan, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Instead of getting a Matata or something of that ilk, or Ekatike or something of that ilk, if we don't get those two players, of course. Koku, what's more important, incomings or outgoings, if there's a choice to make? Incomings, Coco, always, because incomings is what can directly affect us on the pitch. Outgoings won't directly affect us on the pitch. The only thing with what outgoings if you don't get any outgoings in regards to the players that are there at the moment, is that they can create a bad atmosphere at the football club. They can create a toxicity within the football club, especially Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. They could create a bad influence, but that can be controlled. That can be controlled by Ruben Amorim, letting them train away from the team, for example. You know, so I would say ingoings is always important. Once we got the ingoings, I don't think people will mind too much if we still got Sancho and Rashford at the club. If we get Gyokeres, Mbeumo, Cunha, and we get a goalkeeper, and we get a midfielder and a right wing back, I don't think anyone's going to care about Rashford and Sancho. Fair play to them. You sit on the bench. That's what it's going to be like. Do you know what I mean? So as much as it is important, I feel like ingoings is more important. In regard, the only issue I would have, apart from the toxicity and stuff like that, in regards to not getting any outgoings, is that the money, getting some money in. You know, we got 253 million that we can spend, which if we go over that, it will affect our FFP and PSR. You know, so maybe if we can get rid of a couple of players, I think we're going to get rid of Anthony and Garnacho anyway. I don't want to get rid of Garnacho. People know me. I don't want to. I think it's sad, but it does look that way. And we're going to make some money from that anyway. But in regards to Rashford and Sancho, it's going to be difficult to get rid of them, in my opinion. A loan might be good for them, probably next season. Big up, my friend. Big up. Sal, Barcelona are good going for Nico Williams, so that probably rules out Rashford. I mean, at the end of the day, Shah, let's be real with ourselves, right? I know that Marcus Rashford has delusions of grandeur. Yeah, I know that he does. Like, you know, I don't blame Barcelona. I don't blame Barcelona. Would you want Nico Williams or Marcus Rashford right now, at this moment in time, right? Would you want Nico Williams or Marcus Rashford? You want Nico Williams, don't you? At the end of the day, Marcus Rashford is a player that has one good season every 5, you know? And Barcelona are not stupid. They know. So if they get Nico Williams, he's not going to Barcelona. What does that mean for Manchester United? It's all up in the air at the end of the day. But the problem with Marcus Rashford, he doesn't want to go. Marcus Rashford could easily say, I'll go to Atletico Madrid. I go to, Betis. I'll go to Athletic Bilbao. Bilbao don't sign anyone but Basque anyway. But, I'll go to another team like that. I'll go to Villarreal or I'll go to someone like that. And I'll build my name up like that, just like Anthony has done. And you have to give fair dues to Anthony, because he went over there and he done well. And now a lot of teams want him. Atletico Madrid want him. Bayer Leverkusen want him. Other teams in Italy want him as well. So I would give fair play to Anthony. Anthony's done it the right way. This is what Marcus Rashford needs to do. Marcus Rashford needs to go to Spain, not Barcelona, but for example, like Anthony did, go to Betis, a team like that, Atletico Madrid, a team like that, and absolutely tear it up. Go there, tear it up. You're going to see many teams going after him. But he's not thinking like that. He already thinks he's already there. He already thinks he's there with 3 goals last season, something like that. He thinks, I should be playing for Barcelona. I should be playing for Real de Madrid. I should be doing this and stuff. It's just an arrogance. It's an arrogance and an ego. And this is the problem that we have at Man United. This is a representation of players at Man United, the ego. I would love to sit Marcus Rashford down and I would love to tell him, Rashford, how many league titles have you won, mate? So why is your ego so big? How many Champions League titles have you won, mate? So why is your ego so big? I want to know. And that's what I want to know about it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like he has the awe of Zidane, but he has the achievements of bloody Aaron Lennon. Do you know what I mean? Yale, good morning. I do hope Rashford gets his head out of the ground and see Barcelona is not the team for him. They are signing Nico Williams instead of him. He's not going to Barcelona. I don't think Barcelona. Begging for Barcelona is just ridiculous, isn't it? He's begging at the moment. I know Shaka Hislop is so damaged by a certain time. He's very much hurt and is acting out his bitterness. Oh, yeah, Shaka, yeah. I used to like him because he was not a bad keeper, but now I'm really trolling him. 2006. Shaka Hislop. Let me tell you something about Shaka. And I remember Shaka when he played for Reading. I've met Shaka Hislop when he played for Reading. He came in Leighton. He came to Leighton, my hometown, and they played Leighton Orient, and he's playing for Reading. And I remember him on, when the corners are coming, away, away, away. And I go, Shaka, is that all you do? Say away, away, away. Of course they're gonna. I said to him at the time, I said, Shaka, you're gonna say away, isn't it? Obviously, they're gonna kick it away. He goes, you never know. But one thing I would say is that Shaka Hislop, obviously, 1996, Newcastle United, 12 odd points clear. Man United overturned that lead and win the league, and you can't win anything with kids. 1996, Man United win a double. We caused them a lot of pain. Every single one of them. You know what I mean? Every single one of those ex-Newcastle players during that period, who they would have won the league if it weren't for Man United. We took a league title from them, 1 or 2 league titles from them. They were only challenging for about a couple of years anyway. I know they brought Alan Shearer on that. They had a great team. You remember that team? They had Les Ferdinand, Faustino Asprilla, Alan Shearer, Gary Speed, Philip Albert, Shaka Hislop, all these players, Warren Barton. Obviously we took a lot from them, and they're very bitter about it. Shaka Hislop, the thing with Shaka Hislop, he's on ESPN FC, so he can talk about it and vent his anger. And you can't. The thing is, you can't hide it. They can't hide it. They cannot hide the fact that they hate Man United. At least act like you don't hate Man United, but they don't. They don't. They just they act like this is what they do. They act like. They make it like, oh, you know what? I know this about Man United. But they really don't know nothing about Man United. They talk a lot of garbage. And to be honest with you, it would be really sweet if Man United can come back and win again. Because if we win again, I would like to see their positivity. I would like to hear it. It'd be Hollywood style. I'd get my popcorn. I'll be watching it. Them talking about Man United in a positive light. God forbid. Talking about Man United in a positive light. Simon Jordan of Talk Sport talking about Man United in a positive light. Martin Keown talking about Man United in a positive light. Goldstein talking about Man United in a positive light. Craig Burley talking about Man United in a positive light. Alan Brazil talking about Man United in a positive light. Can you imagine that? God forbid that happening. My goodness me, some of them will probably leave and go on annual leave. Who knows? Absolutely. Big up, fam. Some slightly favourable chance Nico could go somewhere other league, so Rashford might have a chance. I think Barcelona's a big one. I think I could actually see Nico Williams at Barcelona. The problem with Barcelona, I think they've already got a very good team. They've got Rafael Rafinha, they've got Lamine Yamal, they've got Lewandowski, they've got Pedri. They've got a very good team already there. Goodness, what are they building there? You know, obviously Real Madrid won. I think didn't they? No, Barcelona won the league, didn't they? If I'm not wrong, yeah, Barcelona won the league. So yeah, they might want to improve and try and win the Champions League. This is the thing. Good morning, Ellen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. I don't want Rashford in Germany. I had enough of him watching him over the years in England, and I really don't want to see him in Germany. I don't think he'll move to Germany, but I don't think he has that amount of intelligence to move to Germany. Obviously, Germany would be a good league for him. He'll probably learn a little bit over there. I think he's more interested in the Latin type of play, more or less like Italy and Spain. The problem is that he's narrowed his search from thousands of clubs around the world. He's narrowed his search down to Barcelona. He has his heart set on Barcelona. He doesn't want to move to anyone else. So, you know, that leaves Man United in a bit of a handicap. So Marcus Rashford is going to be a problem. Jadon Sancho is going to be a problem. Anthony and Garnacho, I don't think will be a problem, you know, but those two other players will be a problem. And hopefully Man United get a few players through the door in Mbeumo, Cunha, Gyokeres, so that Rashford and all them lot, they go at the back of the queue. They could put them at the back of the queue now. They're not going to play football for Man United anymore. And then they're going to have to make a decision, you know, because at the end of the day, the World Cup is coming at the end of next season. So Rashford in particular has to play football. Sancho's not going to play for Man United again, play for England again, in my opinion. But Rashford, he needs to play football if he wants to get in that England squad. Personally, I don't think he's good enough to play for England anymore. Personally, I think it's over for him, in my opinion. 20 likes. Come on, guys. Can we get to 30 likes? Come on, guys. Let's get to 30. I want to get to 50 likes. Small amount of likes today, guys. You're in 140 in the house. Please don't forget to smash a like, guys, on the video. You're absolute legends. Thank you so much. Pogba returned to football yet, going to Monaco. But wishing the best of luck. I don't wish bad on any player, of course. I wish him the best of luck at Monaco. Going to Monaco, good luck to him. Why don't Rashford go to Monaco? What about that? Why don't Rashford go to Monaco and reunite with Pogba? How about that? That would be funny. That would be entertaining, wouldn't it? That would be good. Absolutely. Yale. If Onana stays, we are getting a nice goalkeeper in January. Let's hope so. Yale. Onana may not be leaving. I don't know. He will be leaving soon. He will be leaving, but it might not be this season. We might have to wait a little bit. Mark, what's going on? Good morning. How are you doing? Do Barcelona work for Pep and City? They have had 4 players from City for free and put in a spanner in the works for United every single window. The problem is the conflict of interest, Mark, isn't it? The problem is that with Barcelona and Man City, and you know, Pep Guardiola is always going to have this relationship with Barcelona. You know, as we've seen with Ferran Torres and players of that ilk. You know. He's always going to have that relationship with them. For me, it's a conflict of interest. For me, I do believe that Barcelona do work slyly with each other, with Man City and Barcelona. I do believe that they work with each other. I'm not going to hide away from that. I think they do work with each other. I do. I've had that feeling for a very long time, and you know, it's just kept secret. That's it. You know, maybe they should just strike a deal between each other and just unite as a football club, for goodness sake, you know. They do mess us up a little bit. Barcelona and Man City, they do. Man City need to be put in their place. They really do. Honestly, they really do. 115 charges, swept under the carpet and stuff. They really do need to be put in their place. Absolutely. John, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. If Mbeumo speaks Spurs over United, he isn't going to win things. He just wants Europe. Yeah. Look, you know what? I just think it's spin. I think he will be a Man United player. I'm not gonna irritate myself too much in regards to Mbeumo going to Tottenham. It could happen. Football can happen. Anything, John. But what I would say is that I am literally 90% sure he's going to be a Man United player next season. I think that he's already agreed terms with Man United. He's openly said in the media he wants to go to Man United. Man United just need to strike the deal and get the deal done with Brentford. That's what they need to do. Hopefully by next week we'll get more in regards to that. Window opens again. Things will start moving a little bit more quicker, of course. So let's see. Ephraim, Sal, if Barcelona get Nico Williams, where do Marcus Rashford go? It's up to Marcus Rashford, Ephraim. What does Marcus Rashford want? What does he want? You know, does he want to just play for Barcelona? Or does he want to open his mind and go to another club? If he wants to go to Spain, there's many clubs in Spain that want Marcus Rashford. Atletico want Marcus Rashford. Real Betis want Marcus Rashford. You know, so at the end of the day, look, for me, what I think is going to happen, what I want to happen is him to go to a club for 30 odd million. That's what I want. He's not going to happen. He's going to go on loan somewhere again. That's what's going to happen. And here we are again in the same situation. You know, in regards to Sancho, got 1 year left on his contract. Sancho could just sit down and just play out his contract. This is the thing with Sancho. He can actually sit down and say, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll play in the reserves. I'll get my money. Toodaloo. That's what he could do, you know. That's a problem. Big up, Kenny. What's going on, my friend? I heard Pogba being offered a 2-year deal. Yep, he's going to Monaco. Absolutely. Good luck to him. I wish him the best of luck. Of course. Big up, UK Darren. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, my guy. I hope you're well. Like you said, there has to be contingency plans if Amarin doesn't come in. And I don't want to see us doing panic buys. I don't want to see a Marouane Fellaini moment, you know what I mean, at Man United. We've got this entourage of people at Man United who were paid handsomely to get a job done, right? To do the job effectively and well, right? They did fill me with a little bit of hope last season when we brought in Denny Euro instead of Jared Branthwaite. They had a contingency plan, which was great. Can they do that this summer? Right? If we don't get Mbeumo or Gyokeres, have we got a backup plan? That's the problem. Yeah, that's the issue, of course. I do believe it's done. I think it's done. Gyokeres isn't, but I think that Mbeumo's done. I think Mbeumo will be. You'll be hearing a here we go about Mbeumo very, very soon. I think that, guys, absolutely. And then we can move on to the next and just concentrate solely on the striker position because ultimately that's what we need, isn't it? We need a striker position. We need a striker at Man United, a gunman. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bill. Morning and big up to all. Big up, Bill. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. United's transfers, big up Earth fan. United transfers are always tedious. It's commercial elements of our agreements. It is not just straight deals, throwing money around. Some deals are leveraged via the commercial relationships. Yeah, I mean, Man United are la competencianes, as I say. Man United are like, what? Put your hand on your left ear. Man United do this. You know, we are extremely difficult in regards to the transfer. We are to the book sort of football team. And we are a team that's like, oh, how can we save money here? Can we save money on there? As you said, commercial side of things, you know, how many shirts can we sell? You know, how many, you know, how big is this signing going to be? Hopefully we moved a little bit away from that. Hopefully, you know, we have. And hopefully we don't sign players like Mason Mount anymore, you know. Hopefully, Man United are just negotiating a buy for Mbeumo, for, you know, Gyokeres in regards to installments and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. Craig, good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Shaw has 3 left on his contract. He is going nowhere. 2.5, Craig. Get it right. 2.5 years. Craig, you know what I would say? I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere as much as he should. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think anyone in their right mind in the football world would want to buy Luke Shaw. I think they'd be absolutely crazy. His injury record speaks for itself. Look, don't get me wrong. I like Luke Shaw, right? I think Luke Shaw, when he's fit, right, he's one of the best left backs in the world. And if you say he's not, you're just got an agenda. But when is he fit? How long is a piece of string? This is the problem with it, isn't it? You know, when is he fit? We need fit players. Man United now have Dorgu. They have Diego Leon who's come through the door. We have Harry Amas coming through, and I'm a big fan of Harry Amas. We got Harry Amas coming through. We still got Malacia and obviously Luke Shaw. So we got like 5 left backs there, guys. We got 5 left backs. You know, what are we going to do with all these left backs? We're going to be like Beyonce to the left now, isn't it? We didn't used to have left backs. Now we got all the left backs in the world, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? And we need to get rid of a couple of them, definitely. Luke Shaw obviously has been here a very long time. It's not his fault. He signed the contracts. He was offered the contracts. He signed the contracts. You know what I mean? That's due to the ineptness of Manchester United at the end of the day, with Murto, Woodward, and all that lot. Hopefully this changes. You know, I hope he gets fit. Because I can't see him leaving the football club. I really can't, because we need as many footballers as we can possibly have, you know. And if a fit Luke Shaw, a Luke Shaw that plays most games is good for Man United, right? But I don't think it's going to be the case. I think he has his mentality. You know what? He has other things that are more important to him, i.e. England. And I guarantee you guys, remember this, yeah? Remember this. In March and April, key area here, right? Luke Shaw will start playing football for Man United. He'll be injured, but then he'll start playing football for Man United. Why? Because he wants to play in the World Cup, if England qualify. PSG and Atletico tomorrow. Yeah, good games, man. Unfortunately, the timings of these games are incredibly brutal. The World Cup Championship, the timing of these games are brutal. They are 2 a.m, 5 a.m, 4 a.m. on a Sunday. Oof. Bloody playing games in America. Who would have thought it? Ephraim, we have to play by keeper. It is must whether Onana stays or not. I think we're going to get VTech back, Ephraim. That is my feeling. We're getting VTech back, and maybe we can start rotating with VTech. VTech is a very good player, of course. Luke Shaw is an absolute parasite. Man has been getting paid full-time for part-time work, being in the shadows of 4 managers being sacked with a part to play, but he got the passport, Sal. I got the passport, Coco. I wouldn't say anything like that too much because he's had death threats in England and stuff like that. So has Maguire. So I wouldn't mention that too much. I got a British passport. That happens everywhere in Europe, Coco. If you're Spanish, you'll get favoritism. If you're Italian, you'll get favoritism. If you're French, you'll get favoritism. That happens. That's a given, right? Nationals get favoritism. That's one thing, right? That's why they don't criticize him that. But that happens everywhere. But it is a point, right? The media would be attacking him far more potently if he was French or he was another from somewhere else, wherever he is in the world. But what we have to say is like this: look at things from a footballing point of view. And from a footballing point of view, Coco, is just, we want him to play football. We want him to play football, and that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I believe that Luke Shaw is a good player. But he's not going to. The last decade proves that he doesn't want to play football. He wants to play for England, and that's it. We pay his wages. Hopefully, someone comes out of the blue and makes a bid for him. But I just don't think it's going to happen, Coco. I don't think anyone's going to make it. So we're stuck for another 2 years. Jeff, I always said that Shaw is milking United and Rashford and Sancho wants United to fall. Get rid of the bad attitudes. Get the players who represent the biggest football club in the world. Jeff, you know what? I agree with this because I have had my feelings that, with Jadon Sancho in particular, I feel that Jadon Sancho is doing it out of spite. He rejected Chelsea out of spite. That's what he said. Now, I'm going to stay at Man United. I'm going to get the money, 300 grand a week, and I'm going to stick with that. Because if you don't want to pay me 300 grand a week, 300,000 a week, I'm staying with Man United. No matter how awkward it is, no matter how he's not welcome, that shows you the character of the guy. Now, what's going to happen if Jadon Sancho has to play for Man United? Let's say we're short of some players. Let's say Jadon Sancho is substituted onto the pitch. What reaction would Jadon Sancho get? What will be the reaction? I guarantee you, it won't be great. Craig Parker, Shaw is injured, absolutely. Ellen, I totally agree about Luke Shaw, but he won't make the Man United phone go warm. Garnacho will bring in money. That's exactly what it is, Ellen. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to with Ineos. They're interested in the full profit. That's why the rumours about Mainu were going around, because of the full profit. With Rashford, it's full profit, but Rashford is not important. It's not easy to get rid of. In regards to Garnacho, there's going to be plenty of teams after Garnacho. Garnacho plays football. Garnacho's a decent footballer. Garnacho's 20. You know what I mean? And they're already a Puskas winner. He's already top 5 young players in the world, which was rated, obviously, by his peers. He's won a Copa America. That guy is a very, very good player. And many teams around the world would like Garnacho. And I think that if Garnacho went to any other team, you're going to see a real Garnacho. Unfortunately, whatever has happened to him at Man United, obviously some of the fan base have turned against him, which has obviously hampered his game a little bit, in my opinion. The ego is a little bit of a problem, but ego's it's always been a problem with certain players, In regards to Marcus Rashford, if we sold him, we get full profit, but I don't think anyone's going to buy him. That's the thing. Anthony, I think Anthony, we won't have a problem letting go of Anthony. I think that would be easy at the end of the day. Afro Suit. I like the truthlessness from you concerning Luke Shaw's situation. He's been fooling us all of these years. He has to go earlier in the window. I really hope so, Afro Soup. And if these guys, Vavel and Luke and Wilcox and Barada and all these things, if they're good at their job, they'll be able to get rid of Luke Shaw. People need to stop being manipulated by Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, he's like this, right? You know what? After the Europa League final, I'm injured. Why is he injured? Obviously, because the window's opening. 1st to the 10th. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, when the window's closed, he's training. He's back normal. And then watch what happens when the window opens on Monday. Luke Shaw has a reoccurrence of this and this and this. He's injured again. And we're going to be like, there you go, playing the game again. Here we are. This guy, man, honest to God. Seriously. Big up Afro Soup. Big up. Tybo, of course, they can't sell tickets. People know this is another tournament for making money for corrupt FIFA. Yeah. There you go. No Man United, no party, Tybog. Anyway, no Man United, no party. You don't invite us to the party, you're not going to sell any tickets. No one cares. Hosting it in America as well. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I guarantee you host this tournament somewhere else around the world. Host it in bloody Tokyo or something. You're going to get it sold out. Revert 7. Shaw is thick. I remember Mourinho had to go at him. Yeah, look, you know what? Revert 7. Mourinho was very honest. Mourinho, in fair play to him, he said it about Martial when he said it about Luke Shaw. He said that some players get a small little nick, get a small little hurt, little bruise, and are missing for months. Some players get injured and are playing the next week. And that's basically what he was pointing at. Luke Shaw, that sort of player. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw. And that is exactly right. And they're not injured. I mean, people have to be absolutely naive to think that he's injured, because he's not. He's playing a game, guys. It's so convenient. It's a bit like when the window opened last year and we see Lindelof in a neck brace. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, really, really crazy, guys. If you ever seen Anger Management, with Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. And basically, Adam Sandler has anger issues, and then he got angry, and then Jack Nicholson played like he was injured in court just to get Adam Sandler in trouble, and he wore this neck brace, and then when he went out of the court, he takes his neck brace off, and he's like that, you know what I mean? This is exactly what Man United are. That's what they are. Phil Jones mastered the art, and what is this? Right? When a player masters the art of fading injury. Right? When they play and masters the art, it's going to be a culture, isn't it? It's going to get resonate. It's going to get passed down from generation to generation. Guy, you know what? Just play like you're injured. They won't know. There was also news about Luke Shaw coming into physiotherapy and being late and buying the physiotherapist a bottle of champagne. Things like that. Just so that they don't say nothing. Hush, hush. Man, culture. Good morning, Revert 7. Cheapskate Levi, Spurs 5 wages, Son 190, 117, Romero, Kulusevski. He's not going Tottenham. No, Mbeumo's not going. Yeah, he said have a weird hate on Man United. It's just that we give them PTSD. Luke Shaw has to go. He's the main example of critical problem. I agree, Ephraim. I do agree. Dan Thomas and Burley, Nico and Marino are absolute garbage. They literally bullied Don Hutchin for going off script and saying something positive. United, absolute garbage show. They need to be called out for who they are. Absolute garbage players. Burley, Mourinho, for goodness me, he's the sort of guy who used to get released on a free transfer on Championship Manager. That is Mr. Mourinho, fake-ass Mourinho, wish Mourinho. You know what I mean? This guy's he's a clown, like, at the end of the day. He should have been an actor. That's what he should have been. He should have been an actor. Yeah, mine. He's an idiot, man. Honest to God, if they think they can, just sit there and just spurt their garbage about Man United. But what do we do about it? What we do about it is that we make sure that we are successful as a football club. That's what we need to do. We need to make sure we are successful. If we are successful, they haven't got a leg to stand on. That is what it is. Don Hutchinson is completely, utterly right. Don Hutchinson's the only one with a brain there. He's the only one with a brain. He knows that if we get Mbeumo, Cunha, and Gyokeres, that potentially, that trio, forget about who else we're going to buy, just that trio there is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. That is one of the best trios in European football, and people can argue with their mama as long as they want. That is one of the best trios in European football, and let them hate on, because at the end of the day, what we need to do is shut them up. And the only way we can do that is by winning on the football pitch. Big up, Coco, my friend. Revert 7, you've only come to see United. Absolutely, big up Revert 7. Bill, big up Bill, by the way. Sorry, Bill. You've only come to see United. That's what they need in the World Club Championship, just Man United. Congrats on the 11K sale. Mine soon be 200. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Kenny Fan TV. Big up Kenny Fan TV. Thank you for supporting the channel for many, many months, my guy. Absolutely. 11,000 subscribers. We're well on our way to 20,000. That's what I want. I want 20,000. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. You guys are all legends. I can't do it without you guys. You guys are absolutely brilliant. We just want to spread that the gospel of Manchester United. We want to speak the truth. No agendas, no hatred, no clickbait, nothing. We just want to talk the truth and have a serious conversation about Man United. That's what this channel's about. So big up, Kenny. Chaga, it's not weird fetish, mate, with United too. Probably supported Man United and never got to play for them. Gion, what's going on? Good morning. Long time no see. Next week, Gion. Big up, Gion. I hope you're doing well. Next week, you will see bids flying in for Anthony and Garnacho in particular. Don't be surprised. That's going to happen. So wait. Of course, couple of days. Day after tomorrow, it's open. Absolutely. Jeff, United will always be a standout club in the world. A hell of a fan. Absolutely. I mean, the biggest mistake for them is not putting Man United in the World Cup Championship. Jot. What I do with ESPN and TalkSport Post is totally ignore them. Don't engage them or their comments. They feed off it. Jot, I agree with that. And this is something, Jot, listen for Jot here. He's right. We don't engage in it. Don't give him the pleasure. Don't give him the pleasure of engaging with that nonsense. Because at the end of the day, as he said there, Jot, it's absolutely right. They want that. Because Man United, as soon as someone says something bad about Man United, people ring in. Right. So and people start messaging them. And it just helps them, doesn't it? That's how they're surviving. They're surviving through Man United. They're literally doing that. You know, so we basically just need to ignore them at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Guys, it's me for today. Tyborg. Of course, Rashford is not a Barca quality, but don't forget that he would have seen Henderson playing for England, so nothing can survive. The pick up. Oh, I couldn't believe that, mate. Still playing for England, Tyborg. Can you believe it? Got 2 Hendersons playing for England at the moment. 2 Hendersons playing for England. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. The goalkeepers are right, but obviously Jordan Henderson shouldn't be playing for Man United anymore. Of course, guys, thank you so much. Everyone has joined me. Big up, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Albie. Big up, Albie. How you doing? Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Albie. Thank you so much for being part of the community and being part of Stretford Post. You're absolute legend. Thank you, everyone. I'll be back later on for Chatterbox, guys. Don't forget to join me. Don't forget to put your notifications on. And please don't forget to smash a like, please. Guys, we've got 163 people online. We've only got about 20 likes or something like that, guys. Let's get more likes, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, and I'll see you for Chatterbox. Take it easy, guys. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy. Peace.